Более миллиона сотрудников разных компаний уже пользуются Яндекс.Браузером для организаций. Браузер проверяет все загрузки на вирусы, а также защищает пользователей от фишинга и кражи паролей. Легко установить на сотни тысяч компьютеров с разными OS на Windows, macOS и Linux. Можно выбрать единые параметры для всех или индивидуальные для каждого отдела. Попробуйте Яндекс.Браузер для организаций.
Матти – хрустящие кранчи-мюсли из цельного зерна. Наполнены вкусом и пользой. Еще больше фруктов, ягод, шоколада и орехов в улучшенном рецепте мюсли Матти. Запеченные мюсли – вкусное решение для быстрого завтрака. Матти. Мы полезное делаем вкусным.
Вот уже более 70 лет мы создаем энергию. Силу, которая движет миром и способствует его развитию. Сегодня Татнефть – эффективная международная компания, активно развивающая более 20 бизнес-направлений. От нефтегазодобычи, нефтепереработки, шинного, розничного бизнеса до биотехнологий, генной инженерии. Гордимся, создавая ценности на благо людей.
Ой, как хорошо слышно.
Добрый день, уважаемые участники, уважаемые гости.
Второе десятилетие 21 века прошло под знаменем ускорения цифровизации.
Правительство оказывает максимальную поддержку этому сектору.
Эпоха, в которой особенно важной является кибербезопасность.
Эксперты, ученые, предприниматели вносят значимый вклад в решение задачи по достижению технологической независимости России.
Более миллиона сотрудников разных компаний уже пользуются Яндекс.Браузером для организаций. Браузер проверяет все загрузки на вирусы, а также защищает пользователей от фишинга и кражи паролей. Легко установить на сотни тысяч компьютеров с разными OS на Windows, macOS и Linux. Можно выбрать единые параметры для всех или индивидуальные для каждого отдела. Попробуйте Яндекс.Браузер для организаций.
Матти. Хрустящие кранчи-мюсли из цельного зерна. Наполнены вкусом и пользой. Еще больше фруктов, ягод, шоколада и орехов в улучшенном рецепте мюсли Матти. Запеченные мюсли – вкусное решение для быстрого завтрака. Матти. Мы полезное делаем вкусным.
Уважаемые коллеги, 5 минут.
Dear colleagues, we would be starting shortly, within 5 minutes for certain.
Друзья, добрый день.
Good afternoon, dear friends. Today, this was to be moderated by Emil Kargin. Unfortunately, he got in a traffic accident. He's quite healthy, etc. But, well, Kamal's truck caught up with him on his road to Kazan Expo. And, we would be having this discussion without him. Our meeting today is called International Cooperation, Experience of Exporting Domestic IT Solutions. This is quite brief name, title. Let's maybe transform it in what are we to expect with the Russian export of IT technology products based on overall factors affecting global geopolitics as well as what's going on in Russia. Let me introduce everybody. With us today are Ramis Abyanov from Zenit Legal, Dmitry Pankrushev, RuStore CEO, Anya Ganesian, head of MBA, People's Friendship University of Russia, named after Patrice Lumumba, ex-generation RVK. Daria Zhevlakova, head of GR from Interfax. Augusta Genesis, head of MENA Eurasian Business Association, as well as Pavel from VTB. As I said, we are having a list of speakers who will be sharing their presentations, their vision, and I believe we can precede them by giving some figures I have prepared. If you take a look globally, Russia is not even top 10 of countries exporting IT technologies. So if we take a look at post-Soviet Union, CIS countries, if we take a look at 2022, we were second in post-Soviet space. That's 5.8 billion US dollars. Ukraine was having first place, 7.5 billion, then 5.8 of Russia, then Belarus, then Kazakhstan. 2023 figures are not available, and I feel if they would have been there, they wouldn't be reliable, because I believe it would be difficult to get that level of analytics. So now, when we would be discussing what's going on at the export markets, be it during the course of your presentation or at the end, that would be very good to see the trend. If you're giving the summary understanding of what are we to expect. Let me give the floor to Ramis Abyanov, Zenit Partners, Zenit Legal ANP. May I have my presentation up, and also the clicker, please. Thank you. Well, a few words to begin with about myself. My name is Ramis. I'm a partner of ANP Zenit Legal Company, and it's been for a number of years that I've been helping our IT people to scale their IT products outside of Russia, creating various entities and solutions to monetize their products abroad. And there was some experience that I would like to share in this regard. If you take a look at what we are doing, I have shown what we are doing. A relatively large company, Zenit Legal, 70 lawyers in a number of countries. We are being rated, and some of the rating agencies are showing one of the leading legal companies in digital economy. We are having offices in Istanbul and in Dubai as well. In that sense, we are helping our clients to scale and to export their IT solutions. I would say and set the tone that there is no classical approach to exporting your IT solutions, unlike in other industries. And let me explain why. A number of factors there that kill direct export of Russian IT solutions. First and foremost, of course, sanctions. Secondly, currency limitations and inability to get money for IT solution exports. And of course, serious legal changes over the course of last years. And I would like to give an overview of all those factors. Now, to begin with, sanctions. I feel that everybody must have heard about them and is kind of familiar with this phenomenon. To structure some deals related to selling IT products abroad, to structure your business abroad, a business that would allow you to sell Russian solutions through various platforms or solutions, you always needed lawyers, accountants, others. And the greatest market, which used to be our export market, European Union has forbidden respective consultancy, corporate, legal, and accounting services to Russian entities, which became that impossible. Plus, on top of that, US this year rolled out large-scale sanctions in IT services and forbid residents of Russia to be supplying IT services to US. Google yesterday was trying to register a Gmail account, and Google said, so sorry, no more new Gmail accounts for Russian citizens, Russian cell phone mobile numbers. Plus, it was an extra hit. I was using Notion, a wonderful software where you are accounting for everything. But because of sanctions, Notion decided to leave Russian market and has given up on continuing providing services to Russian users. Plus, of course, there were counter-sanctions now on behalf of Russia, introducing significant level of currency limitations. And let me give you an example of one of them. You are unable to invest into a foreign company if you want to sell your software through some foreign company. You want to become a stake owner, and you are forbidden to invest over 15 million rubles into the capital of foreign company. Of course, you can get that done if you are having a special permit from the Central Bank of Russian Federation, but who would get that permit, etc., is difficult to guess and predict. Financial flows were killed, SWIFT's not working, international money transfers not going. Opening an account for Russian company abroad was never really possible, but even now that would be difficult to register a bank account for foreign company registered somewhere in UAE would also be a challenge. Thus, we are facing great many questions and all other possible checks, verifications, etc., that this process is turning into a very challenging routine work when you have to keep on proving again and again that you are not sanctioned individuals, you are not working in the interest of sanctioned entities, etc., etc. In that sentence, Russian trace is toxic. If you are opening up an account in some payment system for foreign company and connected that without having a VPN on from Russia, the bank will trace that, and then you'll immediately receive an email next day saying, some guys from Russia are accessing your account. Are you from Russia? And they can close that account easily. And then I put abbreviation tax changes. Russian Federation blocked the so-called companies, legal entities from other companies that you could use to export your products. The companies, since those countries were having an agreement of avoiding dual taxation, you didn't have to audit respective reporting, etc. You could just turn in the same taxation reporting to respective tax authorities. Now it's not possible. Respective agreements have been broken apart. If we understood that there was a clear agreement between Russian Federation and Federal Republic of Germany, that there is a clear agreement on avoiding dual taxation, so that export deals would be taxed either there or here. Now it's clear that the taxation, whatever deal else, will be taxed in both domiciles, in both locations, because this agreement of avoiding dual taxation is not in power any longer. Plus, reporting of IT companies to Russian tax authorities have to have accounting balances provided, plus respective balances of your financial reporting documents of the foreign companies where you are selling that software. Of course, yes, whilst on this slide, there's agreements on avoiding dual taxation. They are still in place with some of the countries, such as Kazakhstan and others. That's still possible. Now, moving, how can you export your software all over the world? Clearly, not yet possible all at once, but it's possible to have different part and parcel solutions when you are opening companies abroad in UAE, Armenia, Turkey, Hong Kong, audit all the traces, verify that there are no Russian traces, no associations with Russian software. Because if at any stage of creating this entity, opening up an account, deals, contracts with foreign companies, if it would be it turn out that an identical product is available in Russia, it's well known in Russia, there would be a number of questions immediately raised. Are you living and working here with the Russian traces, etc.? And if your technical support team is located in Russia, you will have to be thinking, how would you be funding the work of those people by the sales generated by foreign entity? That's another practical challenge, which is not always too easy to be addressed nowadays. Well, now these challenges are there. Let's take a look at what are how can we resolve that. Being discussed a lot these times, I see is that there should be solutions how to simplify the financial flows to be coming into Russia from that point of view. Stable coins and cryptocurrency seem to be resolving that quite well, but unfortunately infrastructure is not well worked, because Russian banks are suspicious about that, saying if you are getting payments in cryptocurrency or stable coins, they would prefer to have your company closed. I believe that solution should be created and allowing Russian IT developers to be supplying respective solutions. And because talking about the IT services, buying IT services from Russia and paying in crypto is acceptable for US, for Europe, etc. Plus, of course, if you can get payments, your sales, etc., because that way you would be able to bring in extra funding into extra money into Russia, because otherwise nobody would want to bring in the money from outside into Russia, because the non-existence of dual taxation agreements, etc., would be an obstacle to this otherwise. Thank you, Ramis. You are having quite a rich international experience. It's the picture you have demonstrated to us now, I would say, looks complex. It is. It's both good and bad. And good because you have to be looking at what's going on quite adequately, not to be hallucinating, hoping that things will change by themselves. You have to make an effort to get that things, but as we all know, some doors are closing, others are opening up. You have mentioned YouTube, Google. I understand that YouTube would be closed, eventually blocked in Russia, but RuTube and others are coming up in Russia. And some models that we start seeing in Russia are being used in countries with significant population that are having their own messengers, and they're not allowing other players into their countries. And now I'd like to bridge to Dmitry Pankrushev. I'd like to ask a question: what's happening at app stores? If that door for Russian developers and users, is it still open? What's happening at RuStore?
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. My name is Dima Patrushev. I am the head of the RuStore shop. And not due, but despite we have this possibility to make this product, and big companies do not stop on this. Ramis mentioned Notion. So as far as 2 weeks ago, I published a functional which makes it possible to transfer Notion notes inside the mail. We started VK board. Tinkoff also launched the similar product. It is a large possibility which we should use. And today, I would like to tell you about the app store, RuStore. and the opportunities which we provide to foreign developers. And we will not speak about export, but we will speak about giving access to foreign developers to our market. Now the RuStore is the leading shop in Russia, which any third Russian citizen downloaded, and our priority is the users, developers, and the basic security. As this shop is installed with every third citizen, proves that it is popular. We develop the ecosystem of instruments and products, develop technologies and basic conditions for successful business. And we are counting on and are following very strongly the safety and monitoring rather attentively the monitoring of the content. So a few numbers, please. Alexei gave us the numbers. Now RuStore has been installed on more than 80 million apps, gadgets in Russia. Well, more than 185 million was installed from RuStore. So there are 40 apps in RuStore and more than 10,000 developers of Russian and foreign. The most popular stories in the RuStore are the apps and products which disappeared because of the stores we know very well, banking products in the banking center. The tools of productivity set are very popular. ICOM, for example, e-transport tools, and of course games are very popular because the audience is rather playing. Now let's talk a little bit about foreign apps in RuStore. In 2023, we made it possible for foreign publishers to register in RuStore and gave an access to all means of monetization and promotion which we have. And starting from 2023 till now, the number of foreign publishers increased 4 times. For this, we are going not just ahead, we are also working on quality of our onboarding. If previously it needed the publisher a long time to fill all the fields, now we speeded up this onboarding twice, and for different offers coming from publishers takes only 30 minutes. And if there are people who publish their offers in Google or Apple, can compare. And many publishers gave feedback related to our RX, which we implemented as a tool. It is a very convenient interface and information which is accessible in Chinese, Russian, and English languages. What preferences do we give to the developers who come to us? Of course, it is entering Russian audience, a Russian market. In 2023, this audience spent about 135 million rubles only at games. We also give tools for monetization and promotion. The publisher who comes to the store can start getting money or earning money and can connect to payment tools and start promotion of her project in various scenarios we provide. And I would like also to mention that according to the feedback from our Chinese partners, they consider that our audience can pay more than the Chinese audience. Well, a few words in detail of monetization. What does it mean? Now, about 70% of foreign companies or publishers which have registered in RuStore use monetization. Well, it's quite logical. When you are going to the market, you should earn money. What ways do we give to them to earn money? They're all standard means. We don't have any instrument which does not exist in already used store. These are purchases inside apps, pay commercial subscriptions, commercial apps, and everybody has their personal accounts, analytics, and also support, which makes it possible for our publishers quite often to get integrated their solutions into their products. There is a possibility to test on a small audience and then scale it up. Promotion. We actively develop these instruments. Now we have featuring. If there are people who have published here, everybody wants to get into featuring and to get the first page. Now getting into such topical lists, and the editorial office is responsible for that. The publishers pay nothing to get there. Then there is an opportunity to promote your product due to advertising. We use the VK advertising tool, and every account can have this advertising, and the advertising blocks are integrated into the system. We continue developing the ecosystem of the tools for our publishers. Currently, we have a basic set of VK. It's billing, geo, work with feedback and communication pushes. There are basic interfaces for publication, renovation, and work with the feedback. There is Tracer, which makes it possible to follow the technical problems in mobile apps. And there is a remote tool which for remote control and test of various apps at various audiences. In principle, this is all in brief. This is what our instrument looks like. If there are any questions, I will be happy to answer them. Dima, thank you so much. I would like to remind you that we come here to communicate. That's why let's discuss. I have the following question to our speakers. Maybe you have something to say. Yeah, even audience, please join us, because this is a unique opportunity to get the experts in one room. So please ask your questions. There is no other session after us, so we can spend night here. Very interesting. A question. Maybe there is just a small number of apps because you have to moderate them often. Do you have any statistics, the percentage of refusals for publication? So how deep the moderation is? How timely is the response? As I said in the beginning, we pay great attention to the moderation from the point of view of our attention. Moderation works very quickly, and it goes rather deep into every app which is being published. What does this mean? The publishers who publish their apps in RuStore, they leave the test data so that the moderator could launch the app and to test it for a number of requirements which are given in the requirements. Moderation carries out all these tests. Then there is a process of routine check inside for viruses and so on, malware which can be present there. And then we decide that if the content answers all requirements, it is published. We have statistics, of course. I'm not going to disclose it right now. There are various apps. There are apps from the beginning developers, who maybe not having any evil idea and having published any app used the wrong graphics, for example. And moderation gives feedback to them right quickly and ask other to change the content or to amend this or that scenario. And if the developer wants to do this, and he can apply for another publisher. Were there any cases of phishing when there were just any apps which were removed later? In our production, during the existence of RuStore, we haven't caught not a single app with viruses. Yes, of course, there are apps in the pipeline which have malware. And our guys from the cybersecurity do this or check this very quickly. Thank you. Albert Buzitov, компания Puzzle Systems. Concerning the previous speaker, the Ramis was talking about, I can confirm because we have the company or department in Turkey, and yes, the financial flow are stopped completely. We cannot pay for anything else but tourism, accommodation, and food. So the question about monetization of Western developments, the foreign flows, how can you, maybe we don't know anything. A very good question. If we look at the structure of geography, which is represented by our developers, then most of our partners are from China. And it is much easier for us in this. So that is. On the slide, you can see 70% of revenues publishers which have switched to monetization, more of them are Chinese publishers. And does money go to Russian accounts or to Chinese accounts? Well, from the point of view of structure of the flow, we're all working in the legal field of our country. So we are having a dialogue with your colleagues concerning the transport shoulder in Shanghai with the office which opened there recently. Answering your question, yes, these are Russian accounts, and then we transfer money. Good afternoon, Piotr Vataev, Jaxel. Do you have your own team of developers or you use outsourcing? No, we have our own team because it's very difficult to do by outsourcing. And it is a very critical infrastructure. It is rather new and it must be developing very quickly. Yes, it does. Thank you. I'm sure that when Dmitry came to office, everything will develop very quickly. Okay, we're going further. I am giving the floor to Anya Agnisyan. Ani, you have a unique experience, and you and your colleagues helped to startups via VK generation to enter the global market. You helped startups to enter the global market. This was the market of North America. Now the vector has changed to the East Asia. And how can we do so that it is successful for startups? And how do you see according to your experience? Thank you very much. Can I have the clicker, please? Thank you. Yes, it's right. Starting from 2019, I have been working in the format of acceleration programs, varies both short-term and average time. We helped B2B companies and IT companies, both software and hardware, to enter the foreign markets. And this experience, we are still doing this after 2022, but we just quickly changed the vector from Western countries, because mostly Russian companies wanted to enter the Western Europe and the American markets. But we quickly understand that in 2022, the markets in Latin America, in the Middle Asia, Southeast Asia are open for us. Those are the markets of friendly countries. Today's representation will be built in the format of what is the most efficient for companies, not just to enter foreign markets, just as landing on the moon. Put a flag and then move back. I would like to pay attention to the sustainable development in foreign markets. That's why I will ask the audience, are there any entrepreneurs here who tried or are trying to enter the foreign markets? Are any consultants which provide various services to entrepreneurs, helping them to specialize? Okay.
That was just to understand the audience. Let me start. Speaking about accelerators, as part of the Russian University of the Friendship of People, we have ran our research, and indeed accelerators do give effects, and I'm showing top cases. It's clear that not everybody is capable to be moving with the speed of these top accelerators, and I'm giving the cases of those that have followed successfully and landed successfully. The first company was the service mobile app for disclosing the development of malign tumors. They have done the work, developed a base of the number of hundreds of potential companies in the Middle East, and they got confirmation of the interest of the 8 projects. Guess how many pilots they launched? 0. But they are still in negotiations. Second company is more of a hardware. It's a team on the developing intellectual solutions for all intellectual systems to control lighting applicable in the cities and enterprises and small businesses. Quite flexible. As part of the accelerator, they have confirmed the segments of their target audience. They have completed their marketing and sales kit, identified key partners, had local visits, 9 partners, and the accelerator ended with their discussion of pilot projects. These are the situations per the end of 2022. Since I'm working with companies I'm monitoring, how many pilots do you think have materialized? No, not 0, 1. But not where they intended to. They intended to run it at the Middle East, but ended up running it in Singapore. Now, what conclusions can we draw? Acceleration teams help, but they help here and now. We are working with symptoms, but we are not working with reasons. Why? Because that's the format. As part of the accelerators, you cannot be claiming that these are doing or not doing something enough. Our job is to help companies here and now, and hoping that they would get to some sales. When we are working with our respective challenges, we have to look at the specifics. The first component is related to entrepreneurs or hired CEOs. And the second element, what is business going through, what's happening with them at this moment? Talking about this challenge of the managerial team, the jump to international level is related to a rapidly growing team. It's related to the fact that this team management is happening quite chaotically, principally in general. Plus, this growth is difficult to be keeping an eye on, controlling it. Seems that we are growing, we are having some sales, we are having some potential partners and leads, but it's not yet clear how do you make that manageable. And in the conditions of great uncertainty, and that's something that entrepreneurship is generally related to, and in current realities, this is magnified by tens of times. This uncertainty is becoming very, very much larger. This is a challenging task, difficult for businesses launching and adapting their services. What's working here in Russia would not be working for foreign markets. You are re-establishing company, new product, everything new, so you should be starting as a startup. Let's verify if there is the challenge of the kind. And the complexities in organization of business process was already demonstrated by colleagues. We got used to be doing some in one way. We had some understanding that this should be done addressed this way, but now we are in the green field and you have to be figuring out everything in you. And another element that was there, it's still there, well, cultural aspects of doing business in various regions, various areas is there. There's the saying about samovar, which is applicable here. Every time you are creating the same tool, you have to be adapting it to the needs of the market to which you are coming to. Having studied all that, in our university, we are launching the new format of working with entrepreneurs. And quotes I brought here is something that I like. That's not a new research. It's quite an established figures approved by years of experience. If we are talking about sustainable growth and development, we are talking about skills, not just help from somebody, but the skills that are to be in the skill set of every manager, something that they have interiorized, they have developed, and they can be sharing it. And the second element is that we won't be able to be doing new things if we keep on doing things the way we did. The concept of ours is as follows. We are now organizing an MBA of Master of Business Acceleration. We are not speaking about business administration. We are talking about Master of Business Acceleration now. And that's a polytron. Since we are a university program, everything is quite academic. We are following all the necessary standards. And formally, that's an MBA level program. But the differences are indeed in the fact that we are focusing on the business growth and are working with entrepreneurs that are coming in with their businesses. About some of the profiles, I've introduced that as I've touched on that. The program itself consists of 4 blocks. We start with leadership, change management, then going to systemic business, verifying whether everything is stable, all the bricks are in place to make sure that when we are scaling, nothing gets broken. Well, some things will get broken, but at least you would know what to repair and how to. Block 3 is actually scaling, coming into international markets, and unlike traditional MBA programs, which are paying great attention on stressing leadership and managerial skills, here we're working with businesses in tracking format as well as looking at individual cases of each company. We are not looking at 100 tools or 100 best cases because in life, your case will be the 101st case that has not been in the template. In that sense, we are working individually with cases. Plus, in here, we are having an unfair, uncompetitive advantage of Russian University of the Friendship of People, traditionally established relations with all the friendly countries and the ability to bring in the graduates of people that have studied in the Russian University of the Friendship of People that have a feeling and understanding of Russia, but they are living and working in their home countries. I won't be stopping here. Should you be interested, I would be very happy to share information about the program. I guess the only thing is, just like in traditional MBAs, we are keeping an opportunity to access into the community of the graduates, alumni, and we continue supporting them with master classes, remote programs, as well as various opportunities helping the loneliness of founders to be overcome, not be wasting time for the search of experts, because oftentimes people are spending more time looking for the solution for the problem than they are actually spending resolving the problem. Should you be interested, I'll be very happy to respond in more details. Happy to respond to these acceleration programs. And MBA is 18-month long program, not 4-month long traditionally. Thank you for your attention. Thank you, Annie. On top of the MBA programs, are there any institutions that would help startups the early stages of their development to understand how they go international? Maybe some advice to the audience. Well, true. All the institutions that have been supporting startups, they continue functioning. It's just that due to new realities, there are some changes there. There are export centers organizing focal support. There's Moscow export centers around Russia. They are still there. They continue supporting. Nothing changes there. Just the geography is changing. It's important to understand that now they cannot be working with unfriendly countries. The focus will be on the friendly nations, and that will be it. Thank you. Unless there are questions in the audience, I would be moving further. I would like to invite Ms. Daria Zhivahova. Having listened to the presentations, you are probably understanding. You can add some other things. Thank you very much. Our topic as part of the forum is part of the trend called Digital Technologies in State Governance, State Administration. So in my presentation, I would like to talk about things at the crossroads of these two stories, digital solutions as well as digitalization of state governance, and do that on the experience of Interfax's participation in international integration programs. My clicker is misbehaving, but my presentation is just having 2 slides just for you to remember who I am and what we are talking about. Well, it's clear that digital transformation of the economy, of state administration, of course, is necessary and important. It's a base component for both developing business environment locally as well as to be integrating with that business environment into the global economy. And when we are talking now about our efforts, and so oftentimes quite successful, to build the international spaces, be it Eurasian, be it Shanghai Cooperation Organization, be it BRICS Plus, and we are seeing what the number of countries joining our initiatives. Whichever of these integration initiatives we are looking at, we better understand the technological experiences and expertise of the country, the Russian Federation, is becoming a base and the foundation that is then being extrapolated and scaled in the spaces of all the other friendly countries, nations, economies. And it's evident that for decades now we are doing, and Interfox is part of that, we are basically in the process of creating digital twin of the state of the economy. We are having present information about all the information agents of the economy, every entrepreneurs, industries of the economy. They are not just digitalized thanks to the political will of the leader of our country, or accessible. They are verified. They are reliable. Plus, this is being updated, actualized in real time, which means that we can not only responding to this in real time, but we can even assessing and viewing the beginning, tracking the beginning of specific trends and the benefits we are getting ourselves evident, the quality of administration on behalf of the state, quality of tax collection, going out of the gray zone, fighting corruption. Because despite everything, we are not part of anti-money laundering lists. We are still a civilized member of that process, and we need to remember about that. Should we be willing to cooperate with other countries as well? This is boosting economy inside your country because you are having a civilized environment when you are making good, grounded decisions on who you work with, what you work with, what are the risks, etc. Plus, this all is also a boosting economy. It's clear that processes are changing, and there are routes of foreign investment that have been there before, and the routes of foreign investment flow into our country now. They are different, but the rules of the game are the same. Now, if you want to start our projects, if you want to scale these projects, be it throughout Eurasian Economic Union or the BRICS, we have to be following routes. And many things are very important, both economically, plus, of course, oftentimes even more than economic. I have mentioned taking our economy out of the gray zone, but plus, in most of the BRICS countries, etc., over 50% of what's happening is in the gray economy, be it related to economic well-being of citizens, access to various economic benefits, purchasing power, the demand for new specialties, etc., etc. And then here, if you want to move from beautiful Lady Val projects to be drawn on paper and the map for the implementation, it's important to start to extrapolate our experience into the experience of other countries. Well, the topic itself is sensitive because the set of data I'm talking about is related to significant and sometimes to vulnerable aspects. So all the economies with which you are talking about digitalization, all of them are saying that anything that can be localized should be localized. They want servers in their jurisdictions. They don't want to see transgression of the raw data, only the final elements that are processed products. But they are not just ready, but they are openly requesting participation of our country as a technological expert. Well, digital part of our economy is covering not just some federal projects, it's very well penetrating into every municipality's needs. We know about the initiatives of growth of digital skills of all the regions, even remote ones, so that each location can be the focal point of attraction for investors, for entrepreneurs. Of course, there are federal projects. The federal one is called Data Economy, and Mr. Grigorenko has been speaking a lot about this at the recent Eastern Economic Forum. So despite the challenges all in place, all the integrational process we launched start becoming quite realistic because we understand how to make this happen domestically in our country. Talking about our experiences, we are first of all speaking about everything related to organizing economic activities, because we might call this the blood flow system of the state. But since the data has accumulated a lot of data, and it can be organized almost in any puzzle in a good quality level, we can now be speaking about some macro index that can be produced as calculated at economic development. Let's talk at an index of social economic development of the region, or index of well-being of the region. In all countries we are developing our relations with, we can see the demand for social fairness and justice. So everything of important sensitive issues in our country, such as roads, access to medicines, to kindergartens, etc., these things are also necessary and important for their country. So the same things that we have and they have, we have already structured many things, and it's separate over there. So if we are bringing all of those things, we start having a macro index. We can call it a marker that can be broken down to a number of sub-themes or some topics. And here we are talking about the level of development of the country, of the region, etc. Everything that I already said, but this is very much calculatable here in Russia, because all our procurement, etc., is digitalized, so we can calculate what's being procured, what's being built, and then we can see and verify that these objects exist. Plus, of course, there are components related to resource intensity of respective regions, or bodies or cities. When respective things are traceable, there is a history element related to economic sustainability. Everything is transparent. You can calculate the number of businesses that open up, number of businesses closing down, average lifespan, the number of newly born businesses, local tenants, guests from other regions and countries, how all of this is being reflected in tax payments, and how those tax payments are coming back as subsidies, etc., for developing of the region. Talk everything related to conflicts between companies, arbitrages, etc., digitized verification and oversight on state bodies, whether there is the sustainability or if it's not present, as well as sustainability in other financial aspects, payments, mutual payments, business reputation. All of that is digitalized, and it's evident that all mass media, they are existing on the internet space. We can easily understand what the way various regions or countries are associated with stress elements, or they are for the development or some optimistic trend.
The corruptibility, conflict of interests can be quite easily followed by the affiliation of various entities who are involved in this or that project, so that we can understand whether the well-being is divided justly. So this can be presented on the dashboard, interactive dashboard, so that you can understand what was and what is now, and compare to follow the dynamics, to understand in time that the situation is developing wrong. So such as the heat chart, which measures this temperature. Well, of course, the blood circulation system is good, but there is also a well-being and the science whether the society is healthy or not. We must follow and monitor all this. If all the things which we have learned to do, we should integrate and scale up the space of those countries which now are ready to go further with us. It happens that from the human trust, which is very important, pass to the economic trust. And the fact that we have managed to achieve foreign direct investments will be also reached in our joint projects. And everything that we declare, as most of GDPs and population are concentrated not in the place where we have difficulties, we will be able to pass from beautiful statements to real results. And the process has already started, and it goes in the right direction. That's why I think that despite all problems which the colleagues spoke about, there will be some optimistic note in our discussion. Thank you very much. Thank you, Natalia. I looked in your eyes and can see that in faraway America, people are using abacus or just... No. It should not necessarily be bad for anyone so that it is good for us. No, in fact, it is surprising, but every time when relatives and friends come from abroad to us, they are admiring our electronic systems and what we have here in digital form. While you were speaking, I understood that there are no other such regions than Tatarstan as far as digitalization is concerned. So everyone who is not from Tatarstan, just be envious. Go to your regions and tell how you should go ahead. So we're going ahead. And now the next speaker is a wonderful Augusto Genesis, will tell us about his unique experience of working with the Middle East. So I give the floor to you. First of all, thank you very much. I will tell you a few words what we are doing. I represent a committee which is involved in entrepreneurship and business. It is a Eurasian Business Association, the Committee of Foreign Economic Work, first of all, of legal work related to the export of our Russian companies to friendly regions. In particular, the company which I represent, H Apartments Group, it's a legal office, my license, a company named after me. Nevertheless, I organized my team consisting of the best specialists in this branch related to financing, consulting, banking consulting, legal consulting, corporate law, criminal law, and so on and so forth, about 17 spheres. And first of all, these spheres serve the truth and use for our business abroad. I didn't stop only on the MENA region, because MENA region includes the Middle East countries, Africa. Now we are spreading our help to Asian countries, where our companies need help, to Latin America, where our business is also present, Iran, where the most difficult system with mutual payments and so on. Everywhere our specialists work in the field, which side by side work in the interests of clients, our Russian companies. Speaking about committees in the Russian Business Association, then first of all, it is a platform, an opportunity to meet an entrepreneur in such wonderful forums which gather such entrepreneurs. I am very grateful that they invite international speakers so that I can share and help to give consultation. Such meetings never end. And we will be able to communicate not only today, but tomorrow as well. So these 3 days, I am, my team, are working for you. Speaking about the current topic, which is very interesting for many of those who work in the IT sphere, I would like put the IT sphere as the main one, because it is related to AI, logistics, cloud technology, cybersecurity. and new technologies in technological construction. A vast number of our clients are doing the things which are not done anywhere in the world. Speaking about MENA region, I especially prepared a very serious article on this information. You will not be able to find anywhere else. Speaking about Arabic Emirates and the Middle East countries, so Arabic Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar. During the discussion, always ask questions. It is very important for me because there is a lot of information, and I must understand what you need. Information is from the horse's mouth. It is this information from the government, and we have been working with the Arabic governments for the 7th year already. I will be very happy if we have a vivid discussion. Speaking about the policy of digitalization, and this is the topic of our forum, then in 2022, the government of the Arabic Emirates signed a program, Vision 2021. What is it based on? It is based on the fact that the government of Arabic Emirates for many years started thinking that they want to be a new center of digital economy in the world. Due to their financial resources, due to their vision, due to the fact that economy of Arabic Emirates is a very young economy, slightly more than 40 years old, we can see that showcase window. When we come there, we can see that everything is beautiful and prosperous, but it's not true. Speaking about governmental program 2022, it consists of 4 parts. First part is to create a sustainable technological ecosystem on the basis of all state resources, which will unite these borders and will give it possible for the residents of the United Arab Emirates to use electronic carriers for their requirements. Then it also includes a special plan of developments of separate startups and acceleration funds. Well, really, acceleration funds in the last 2 years have a huge success in Arabic Emirates. A development of venture funds, of IT clusters, acceleration programs, certain ecosystem which is fully supported by the government of the United Arab Emirates. Further, as far as the Vision 2022 is concerned, so its main task is to do it in such a way that those digital contents which are coming to UA become residents, can function, can pass their knowledge, can pass their technologies, build joint enterprises. And for all that, the government of Arabic Emirates allocates both money and forces. The companies which are aimed at this segment will have all kinds of success and preferences from the point of view of the government and from the point of view of the development of their legal entity. Of course, getting the gold visa and sometimes even a passport. An example of this are our compatriots Pavel Durov, who got the passport of Arabic Emirates, not just by chance, but cooperating with the government of the Arabic Emirates, and its team is now developing the digital dirham. That's why our Russian developers gain second home in the Arabic Emirates. Of course, nobody cancels Russia, but they can work there, they can function there, and give the world new opportunities, which we then all use. Speaking about prospects of the IT market in Arabic Emirates, then first of all, we should say that the main share of all purchases which are done in Arabic Emirates via e-commerce make about 12%. The total share of e-commerce, the amount of money or purchases which are done using these shops, it's about $18 billion. By 2031, the government of the Arabic Emirates plans that the amount of e-commerce must be no less than $140 billion. And now they're trying to reach this amount. How? In 2021, they developed a program for IT companies, for technological companies, which is Next Gen TI. This program exists and it's actively developing, and its main aim is, first of all, to attract about 300 digital companies to Arabic Emirates so that they can function there, share their technologies, pass their knowledge, skills, and of course, to establish joint enterprises. The main task of such program, Next Gen and FDI, is the legal purchase of somebody else's technologies. We understand, because those programs which are aimed at the possibility for free functioning in a large number of venture funds, we will speak about venture funds as well, they gave the companies a possibility. The companies, of course, which do not have their budgets right now, they're startups. They have an idea, already developed idea. They don't even have their estimation value. They have great possibilities, opportunities to use IT clusters, technical parks, by getting subsidy or fellowships. The staff of the company, so that they can develop. So, speaking about main platforms which currently are allocated in Arabic Emirates in the IT technologies, I would like to name three main of them, three main hubs with which we are working. Hub 71, my highly respected friends and partners. It is a state fund. One of the headliners of this fund is Microsoft. It is investments fund of the President of the Arabic Emirates, Wadl, and such corporations as doing with IT technologies. There are a lot of them. We're not going to advertise them. Hub 71, as one of the functional hubs, is in Abu Dhabi. Its main resources, which are given to the financial technological spheres of this fund, works in 6 and 7 spheres: healthcare, IT, cloud technologies, cybersecurity, gaming industry, and what is related to it, and the platform related to oil and gas sector, which helps oil and gas companies to minimize their resources, to optimize their resources. Maybe these are just the hints of main drivers which are interesting for this hub. Speaking about In5 and Grow Value, they differ that the Grow Valley is a growing platform for the companies which want to scale up their projects. For example, if we speak about In5, this is an ecosystem which was established on the basis of the T-Com company, and its main drivers and the beneficiaries of the new project is the T-Com company. In the first and second case, startups, the companies which have are at the early stages of their development, in Fav and Grove Valley, they just monitor constantly the new projects. First of all, their main task is to find the projects which are related to their sphere of interests and to see how much the team can seamlessly be integrated into this process and to be involved only in creative work. All other issues will be solved for them. And such platforms as In5, Grow Value, Hub 71, their main task is to find an investor to sell your project as more expensive as possible. When I'm speaking about legal part, as being a lawyer, I would like to pay attention that not everything is gold that glitters. Maybe it is a big spoon of a tar. There are a lot of things which can be get for free. But first of all, knowing a large number of people who came 3-5 years ago with their projects, most of them passed through Hub 71. Some of them refused, and they found venture investors by themselves. But the conditions provided by state or private hubs are not very beneficial, because 60% of your revenues of this platform must pass to this or that hub. 50, 55, 60. It's more than 50%. At the same time, quite often it happens, and we often see this when there are conditions, when the buyer is found and there are requirements to the developers. For example, these are people from our Russia. Then there are requirements when in the structure of company there should be European owners, which have no less share than the Russian ones.
It's either 50-50 or 40 Russian to 60 non-Russian. That way, the main beneficiaries start being pushed out of the structure of their company or the structure of their project. We are seeing that perm systemically, regularly. It's clear, it's rare that some companies can keep and avoid changing the structure, because their main objective is to become part of some large holding where they could become either some umbrella company, or if it's some structure, they would become either the part of the bank, and their platform will be helping respective bank integrating in some process. But that way you can lose business. In that sense, speaking about hubs, as lawyers, we would like to help the investors to open up their eyes and see the vision that over the course of 7 years of work in Emirates, not just in the legal part. I had an experience of working in American venture funds when we were having Russian startups willing to become residents of Silicon Valley in the United States. We as analysts were looking at their companies, understanding their values. Some were becoming the residents. Majority of those that didn't get into none of the hubs were finding their investors. They were always finding their investors because the programs with which they have relocated, be it from Belarus, from Kazakhstan, from other CIS countries, from the other Russian Federation, those are the Russian-speaking folks. When they were having an idea, coming again and again to various meetups that are taking place at United Arab Emirates, you can get to very good meetups a few times a week. And for example, in my focus, guys doing the development, they consistently are having internal meetings when startuppers, guys from all over the world, are coming every Wednesday and Saturday, and those of you should be interested, I will give you contacts that are organizing meetups to make sure that people meet each other without taking money for that. That is, of course, some support, but measure that is part of a charity thing, but that's important because when you are having such meetups, you are having this community. I was useful to some were useful to me with their ideas. With some of them, we are interacting thanks on the topics of mutual payments and banking payments. Their platforms are now helping our Russian companies to be doing their economic activities abroad. And the majority of these platforms are platforms developed by our Russian IT specialists. Thus, speaking about Russian technologies, and my topic is the transfer of Russian technologies into United Arab Emirates. In that sense, United Arab Emirates are used to the transfer of Russian IT technologies to United Arab Emirates. So they are looking for us. They are ready to work with us. I have demonstrated some of the teams that I know personally, friends with. For example, Trust Money Club is a payment platform through Russian owners that have developed a wonderful platform in 2012, mutual payments between corporate businesses around the world, having very strong correspondent banks, Raiffeisenbank, their reliable NBD, Deutsche Bank, and these banks are working with them since 2019 at a very official basis. Now they are having two headquarters. One is in Austria and another one in UAE. I very much would recommend that. And those who would be interested in working with currency market for export payments, probably one of, if not the best platform there is. Yellow Market is probably well aware of the team that came about 2.5 years ago in our venture investment fund with their presentation. They came with a piece of presentation of paper. They said they want to create a Russian marketplace of the Russian goods that would be sold in Emirates. Some were skeptic about this. Oh, why? We've already got 3 marketplaces that are being owned by United States. But the main job of the Yellow Market was to stress the Russian domestic product. And the Yellow Market today has not only the marketplace, they are having delivery, and they are now thinking about integrating with large operators such as Amazon, such as Noon, the internal UAE marketplace. And I believe they would be able to make everything happen. Realiste is a platform for those doing real estate. Anybody interested, feel free to take a look. They have developed a very good strategy related to the index of growth of price in the United Arab Emirates. Softline, another business doing development. But I guess you can see plenty of Russian enterprises that are having branches in the United Arab Emirates and are successfully functioning with all the support networks. Should there be any questions, I'll be happy to respond. Thank you very much, Augusta. Yes, I do have a question. Augusta, could you please tell us? I'm a shareholder of a company, the Russian passport. What bank can I come to open an account for my company? Okay, let me ask a question. How old is your company? Is it new one or is it functioning one? The license over? Then none. I'm a political person, so you can ask any questions to me because you mainly need them as entrepreneurs. At the current moment, the situation is as follows. If we are organizing enterprise and its purpose is to be functioning long and painless, that's a company in which the main beneficiary would not be visible. At the same time, the opening of the banking account takes 2 hours. In other situations, large amounts of money that I don't take money from clients for a simple reason, because even if we would pay under the table some opening up an exchange account in whatever bank, larger the bank, that has. There's no guarantees that in 2-3 months' time, having good turnover, it would not be frozen. We would not be able to help you, neither the distinguished defense lawyers, respected defense lawyers would not be able to help you, because there are certain agreements between the banks. Maybe it's not good, but it's there. We are never going into cases when the risks of the client, should they have large turnovers, would not be defendable. From the very beginning, we are developing all the financial architecture with our distinguished partners. We're always looking for partners with partners around the world, because the number of companies is growing geometrically, and we don't have specialists. On top of the fact that we are offering not to work with UAE banks, because there were some cases with the United Arab Emirates banks on the extension of the license on annually. On the date of the license, the shareholders can be changed. That would be free of charge in light of the tariffs. And even if they are changing in line with the agreement with the bank, we would have to inform that the shareholder will be replaced. We can avoid doing that in the first 3 months, but then going forward, we would have to inform them, because in the license number, and there are 4 shareholders, Ivanov, Petrov, Sidorov, etc., would be replaced by Tikhonov, Mayorov, let's say, and we have to inform them. The bank would not be verifying that on purpose. United Arab Emirates are the country of the lazy, but if that would surface somewhere, then this is serious. It's pointless to try to overcome this, to hide this. Nobody would be helping us, and so we are discussing that with the clients on this side of the shore, because our job is to make sure that their businesses will be working, bringing them benefits without risks for the owners. Documentarily, we are of course making all the documents in which the final beneficiary is evident to all, and if it's at the very end of the procedure, something is being heard in the court of Dubai, or everything on paper should be kosher, and we had 2 of such cases over the last 7 years, because nominal directors, the Europeans, they understand what's going on, and the companies understanding that when they are hiring specific candidacies, they are of course paying their salaries, and everybody is satisfied. No one has any unfounded expectations. Loud round of applause to Augusta. Yesterday you were having a panel discussion. You were discussing venture investment. We're mainly having funds, business angels, development institutions, and at the end there was a question in the audience. What would you like to have? You're having plenty of grants, support of IT park, not just money, but also with advice, etc. And I was silent, didn't contribute, but after 2 days, presentation of Augusta, I would have said that we would need to be giving 250,000 dirham, 6 million Russian rubles, and cost-wise, in the United Arab Emirates, that would be enough to live for about 2 months or so. Speaking about opportunities, if I have some 3 minutes or so, I would add that, dear entrepreneurs, don't be afraid to be coming to United Arab Emirates from the point of view of business missions. If you're talking about the countries of Eurasian Association of Businesses, what myself and my committee have done the most useful things for you. We are having 2 hub special economic zones that are ready to welcome us at their territory free of charge. Those are free economic zones with which we have been working for 4 years with one and 6 years in the other. So that's, I guess, a bonus that we are receiving from these free economic zones. We have done plenty of enterprises for private companies, but we are not doing it that openly for entrepreneurs in general. So our Moscow committee doing that your foreign economic activities of Eurasian Association of Businesses. You might not have heard about that because you're not members of that association, but we set entrepreneurs of whatever dimensions. Who wants what? Speaking about United Arab Emirates, what would you like to see? Who are your clients, your suppliers? What kind of help you would be interested in? We are collecting all that information from all over Russia, and of course Tatarstan first and foremost, because Tatarstan is most active. Oftentimes we are quoting you as an example. I'd be very happy if you find me today and tomorrow, and you would think and you would give some feedback, proposal on what you would like to have. We would formalize that rapidly. We would organize a state request, and maybe not sounds official, but still. The free trade zones, what they want to see is that they want to see that they are in demand, that their opportunities are paid attention to, that the events are taking place at their free economic zones. We, as a support office on the issues of export-imports of Russian enterprises working in the United Arab Emirates, we are, of course, inviting representatives of the government, the Economic Department, Trade and Industry Chamber, and the representatives of all those entities will be there. But we are interested in having interested speakers, interested topics. We need business mission is usually taking 3 days. First day is active in-person discussions where we are bringing people together as lawyers, your partners. One party with the other, and different parties together. The next 2 days are being spent at the sites of the enterprises you want to visit, who you want to meet with, and those meetings, of course, are being prepared a few months in advance so that everybody would be ready, so those business-to-business meetings will be most effective. And if it's coinciding with number of fairs, exhibits, for example, when I was writing that there would be GTEX in October, UAE, and Big Five in December, those are dimensions, those are fairs that are very good for IT. People all over the world would be there, and you can get to them by having prepared business-to-business meetings. I'll be happy to be of helpful. I'm inviting now everybody to come back to our local grounds, think about our fall and winter, and think about the ways we would be replacing imports, the way we would be developing our own IT, so that eventually we'll be able competitive also against all the opportunities and infrastructure in the Middle East. And I'm confident that Pavel would be speaking to us about that. Would be difficult to complement what many have said. I guess I'm more optimistic about exports, so that we would have things to export, to have advantages that would be able to even take over, overpass many years polished IT solutions, I'd like to present that in the case of one of the solutions that was developed in the Russian market that we have tested. It's it's not a financial tool, it's an IT for IT toolset component that is responsible for the monitoring and creation of all systems, irrespective of whether these are banks or not. All development processes are using respective tools. Global market is relatively high, and the forecasts are speaking about the growth in billions of dollars. Unfortunately, in line with 20 to 23 forecast assessments, you see Russian share vis-a-vis global share is 4.5, not the biggest, not the smallest. The thing is that there are plenty of tools, and the key players down below are not limited by this. But what you see here, there are many more, highly competitive area, but at the same time significant volumes, even if you are able to get some part of that pie, we'll be able to live with. I'd like to say that in 2022, when this was happening, this was beginning, we were in quite a good state. We had an IT transformation of VTB Bank. We moved into flexible development processes like Agile. We were having some 20,000 developers. We were having our own production because we are having an industrial operation over 50 systems, actively developed, continue developing. You are having streams, good indicators in time to market, etc. But all of that was built. The support of its development, etc., was built absolutely on the foreign stack. So you are seeing Atlassian, Micro Focus, backlog management, knowledge management, etc., DevSecOps tools. In that sense, we had Hewlett-Packard there, etc., various Nexuses and TeamCity and Micro Focuses. So all of the best foreign-made stack. Then we are happening what was there in 2022. Then we are automatically block licenses, blocked private access. Removed. Our apps are removed from App Store as well as Google Play in a number of days. In that sense, we were being choked and cut everywhere, and we had to move rapidly to some Russia-based solutions that would help us to continue the development and support to keep system running with hundreds of millions of clients. Plus, make sure that we keep our development, don't lower the delivery trends of ideas to final consumers, not to be increasing time to market, etc.
There was no a ready-made solution at that time in the Russian market, but the company T1, group of companies, were thinking about development of such an IT platform, which they named Sphere. It's clear that it was just being conceived, but as a result, we came to this solution because it was designed initially on microservice architecture, on supporting virtualization in containers and so on, hibernation and so very, very fashionable things. It already had a potential of going into the international markets. It contained multi-language systems. And we had our own requirements to this platform, as I told already. It should be maximum transparent. should support both deployment from the cloud and work on premises to support our standards, plus provide security, limitation of resources, they're scaling, there are a lot of technical nuances. And that sphere which exists now, and it is a set of 40 tools. It can be installed as on-premises, so also deployed from the cloud. So small businesses and small teams which do not have their own premises, the solutions and premises can use it. There are open source solutions. As far as the benefits are concerned, it looks comprehensive, is that it is a platform. We had instruments of managing the processes on the upper part, starting from the setting forth the targets and planning the life cycle, backlogs, tasks, and so on. Then there is technologically developers, instruments, DevOps conveyor, deployment testing, auto testing, and many other tools. Then there are monitoring systems, how people work there and whether they really work. And you can get the information about a concrete developer, whether it used the code or not. We can look at interesting trends, the workday of a programmer in the bank. It is all quiet till 10 o'clock in the morning. Then they're writing the codes. Then they go for lunch. Then there is, again, evening flow of work. And then again, it is quiet. I would like also to tell that there are all layers which are penetrated by AI. There are even helpers which are similar to Compel. Maybe they're not in that state as Microsoft, but they're already appearing. Plus, there is a unique solution for Russian market. I don't know the similar for depersonification of data. As banks, we have very many regulating limitations, so the client's data should not get into anybody else's hand, including the developer's hands. So we actively use depersonification tools when the data are masks, but at the same time they preserve their business content. For example, the business card is just the number, and when you download an app, it will not say which client it is related to. And here we use the AI, which makes a profile of the database. So there is a black box which can identify by itself which data is kept there, what is the passport address. Plus monitoring of the events. And this vast machine, if you look at the map where of the products being replaced, many foreign products, so we are already replacing the product which first has a vast amount. We have 20,000 people working on this product, 1,000 meetings every day, and it covers a large share of the market. If to listen to the first presentation, we do not have any hope for the future, because as far as I understand, we will not be able to enter the business markets, the foreign business markets. But it seems to me that it's not as bad as it seems. There are certain contacts. And now the promotion to the foreign markets, maybe friendly markets, they're being done. And speaking about cryptocurrency, I think that it will not help us, because which is most important is that the entrance and exit from it, and they're all controlled, they are very transparent. This is a very interesting the story of how we introduced it, how we implemented it. It was a hard work, as we got a very inspiring feedback from the users, because there were more than 20,000 users who for years worked in TeamCity, G-Confluence, and so on. And now we say, well, as we have moved to other systems, here you work here. Whether there was piloting, there was scaling, training. Nevertheless, it is quite understandable that not all people adopted it at once. But there is also a positive experience. We started scaling this up in July last year in the bank. By the end of last year, we completely moved everyone and stabilized the system to the VTB bank. This year, we completed the transfer to the DC COPS instruments. Now all developers that we have, they use the Sphere for collecting the codes, provision, and testing. We have not completed yet the transfer. We need to finish the transfer to the tools of accompanying, to the accompanying tools, control of emergency cases, vulnerability. But by the end of the year, we will do that. In principle, there is a very nice product in our Russian market, which already has modern opportunities for expanding the functional logins and localization on other languages, what is being done right now, even to exotic languages. That's why I am optimistic. So it is a very quiet optimism. It's again me. I did not understand by the end. Are you going to implement it in the domestic market? Yes, it is already there. And how it is integrated? Is it a separate integrator, separate distribution? No, the model is follows. There is a developer group of company T1. They have their network of distributors which already distribute this. And this is a box solution, not just an order development. GR Confluence, we download it, you can install it, and then you can use it. So it is ready. It is ready-made solution. So if I am an integrator in Russia, I can come to T1 as a distributor and ask them. That's it. That's it. No questions. Good afternoon. Olga Lapina, Scientific Centers Constructor. Thank you very much. Thank you for telling all our pains. Let me, dear colleagues, to touch the topic of digital technologies in state governance and international cooperation in this contour. Take into consideration the difficulties you named, and as there is a demand for our domestic solutions, and there is an image of Russia as a leader in implementation and use of technologies in various spheres. Are there any news? Are there any tendencies? What trends, tracks, something very attractive, developed channels of communication? For example, G2B, as we're speaking about digital solutions in the state management. There is work of METS, for example. There is work of our diplomatic corps and our trade representative offices. But taking into the account that the situation is rather turbulent and we are living in the situation when we open our accounts in the third country, no, China is not supporting us anymore. We must be updated in all these affairs. What is the concentration of knowledge? Where should we look? What is the forecast? What is in demand? Who can pay? Who will let the Russian contractor into its market? Yes, thank you for the question. Express answer, for example, so that we can go further. Frankly speaking, I will not be able to give the objective answer because I didn't have any experience of establishing relations with the state or ordering customer. I am not ready to answer this question. Yes, it's a very burning question. It's a broad question. I will say it too, says, well, entering of state management in other countries and this direction B2G has never been easy. Let's acknowledge that it is one of the most, it has the highest barriers and it still remains this. Speaking about successful cases, successful projects, again, you should understand the structure. It is G2G, which then sends the orders down B2B and then returns to G2B. So you should not have any illusions that we are going high and start working with, I don't know, maybe from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia or with any other countries. No, you should see what foreign technologies are used in state sector of Russian Federation. How? Yes, it's a nice question, yes. So please, these are mirror processes. If we speak about sectors, it depends on every country and national priorities of the development. For example, today colleagues said about the Middle East, there are certain visions, and there is call to technologies. And such formats with the support of the state structures can be developed. There is possibility to get into them. This is just judging from my experience. I would like to add, if we are speaking about the state projects, having read the topic of the section, digital technologies in state management, we're speaking, for example, for digital twin of some space region, our capital. There is a demand for that of any landscape, whatever, doesn't matter. There is a demand. They're less expensive than our foreign analogs. They're wonderful Russian. And the representatives of G Block boast them. They are people with money. And there is also facilitation from the G. It must be in one layer. But no. My question, and I hope to get the answer, what is important now? What is the common information field, for example, whether there is a portal of new procures which also has to work as G2B? or whether there are some foreign IT park. Yes, we get the residents. Good. What information fields, which cases, what experience works here? I have heard it. Look, we work with the states, They are as part of large state corporations. If we narrow to IT sector, I will single out an example which was taken in the Arab Emirates as state services, as the format they would like to reach. There are developers who have developed this program. And of course, there are negotiations. What we can propose as far as the roadmap is concerned, where our office is a legal negotiator. We are writing to it. It is a very long story, but it brings final understanding of the process. If we take the situation of the games of the future, for example, which will take place in 2025 in Dubai, we're also negotiating with the largest Russian technological companies. And part of them are under sanctions, part of them are not under sanctions. So legally, we will find a solution as to do it in such a way that the final block, which is needed by Arab Emirates, for example, cybersecurity, cloud technologies, blockchain, so 3 spheres which are mega interesting for them. Even gaming is not that interesting for them. Maybe it will be the 4th or 5th. And of course, quantum technologies. And these are 4 main directions which are mega popular and mega interesting for the government of Arab Emirates, with a small exception for Saudi Arabia as well. Speaking about NEOM project, I know it by 20% because I don't have that many orders who would like to use it. But Saudi Arabia has a technical park, for example, and the specificity of this park from Arab Emirates is that in Arab Emirates there is no technical park. There are free economic zones, or programs, but there is no financial participation of state in foreign companies. And Saudi Arabia would like to take part in foreign companies. And the main task of Russian enterprises who would like to work with Middle East to go to the elder brother. For example, the Saudi Arabia is elder brother. And the point is that when they establish a new legal entity, they become a resident of the technical park to get into the state program. They have state programs of subsidizing of this or that spheres which are necessary for this state, and there are a lot of them. And when we go to here and start getting the orders, either with the state participation or without the state participation, then we reach the point when interests of 2 states intersect, as the company which becomes a resident of the technical park is the company which is a blue chips company of our corporations. It can be, we can have the name of Romashka or Daisy. So, and that's why these relations B2G, they do exist. The only thing is that when we have negotiations, for example, when we speak about our President of Russian Federation and the King of Saudi Arabia, then they have met 4 times already. We can see this according to the flags in the sky. So it is seen. So there are some negotiations. So they are not public, of course. That testifies that our relations are very good. And Russian corporations, they're in demand, as a technological donor for Arabic Emirates. We must find the point of entry, and then this consensus as synergy of B2B, first G2G, and then B2B, will take place. Thank you.
Да, я еще добавлю, что стартап на ранней стадии, что крупная компания с миллиардным оборотом, у них у всех одна и та же проблема. Да, проблема, да, спасибо большое. Ну, собственно, да, я сейчас закончу проблему. Проблема это был хороший комментарий. Проблема в том, что они думают, что за них кто-то что-то должен решить. Ну, кто-то. То есть не они сами, а придет какой-нибудь либо суперспециалист, либо мы наймем какого-то волшебника внутри компании, который возьмет и решит эту проблему. У G работает так. Ты должен решить сам, пробить рынок, сделать, там, не знаю, что-то сделать, потом прийти, дать ему минимум 3 варианта, как должно быть вот так, так и это. И тогда эта машинка начинает работать. Ты посмотрел, проресерчил, ага, не работает, дал ему еще варианты. Вот с таким вот подходом можно выйти, мне кажется, на любую абсолютно страну.
Я бы даже добавила, что сначала ты пишешь ТЗ, которое потом тебе оттуда вернут. Абсолютно подписываюсь под каждым.
Ну и контролить надо. Да. Вот, ну, собственно, да, чтобы еще больше не хлопали дверями, я на этом предлагаю нам завершиться. Спасибо огромное вам, что досидели, и спасибо огромное вам, эксперты, что поделились такой супер классной ценной информацией. До нового КДВ. Спасибо.